Hello. Hey, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thanks for the introduction. Yeah, my name is Alejandro. Do I have a clicker? Or is there? No? Okay, I say next slide. All right. Okay, so yeah, my name is Alejandro. I'll be talking about mining now today. I'll be talking about a few things related to mining, mostly some misconceptions and the importance of mining. So next slide, please. So to begin, let me give us a little bit of background information of who I am and who we are. I work for BTC.com. BTC.com is the major or the biggest mining pool in Bitcoin. So we're number one there. What the mining pool does is that it aggregates all miners and it gives you a higher chance of finding the reward. We also have a Bitcoin Cash miner. We're the biggest, the second in Bitcoin Cash. I'm very proud there. Aside from that, we have a wallet which allows you to transact very simply Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. You can also buy Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash there. It's available in many languages and thanks. And very simple to use. Our philosophy in our wallet is for people who, there's a lot of Bitcoin is sort of complicated in some senses, it's too technical. We make it very simple to use, very secure. You're in control of your private keys with us. And we're actually giving away some free Bitcoin Cash today at our booth down there. So if you want to get a €2.50, which is about a cup of coffee or a beer, you can today, and you'll have some free Bitcoin Cash. BTC.com, can't forget, is part of Bitmain. Bitmain is the mining manufacturer. We manufacture the Antminer series. It's the most popular miner in the world. We also manufacture the chips, so we have a very talented chip design team based all over the world. Our HQ is in Beijing. We mine Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash. With us, you can buy miners that mine Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ethereum, Siacoin, Bytum, and I think, this morning we released a new miner that mines Zcash. So we're very on top of this mining industry. I guess this is how it works. Okay. So what is mining? Mining is it's very simply what runs the network. So just like Visa has lots of servers that are all over the world that run the payment infrastructure. What Bitcoin mining does is run that infrastructure, the whole payment infrastructure. It runs the network. How it works is that every 10 minutes, the miners discover a block, and in that block, they enter all the transactions that occurred. And they keep doing this. This digital ledger that anyone can read, and they form a chain, and that's where you hear a lot of this blockchain. That's what it is. It's the miners setting a block with transactions in it in a chain. That's the blockchain. So that's what miners do. Miners is a very important, if not the most crucial thing in Bitcoin and in other cryptocurrencies because it's the running of the network. The interesting part about mining is that the creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, devised an incentive for people to do this. So how do you make someone run a payment infrastructure with these specialized computers? You incentivize them. So for running the mining network, you're rewarded with some Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash or whatever cryptocurrency it is you're mining. Let me give you a little bit before I cut into the waste. What happened is that mining, it evolved into it evolved from CPU mining. So in the beginning of Bitcoin, you could mine a lot of Bitcoin just with your laptop. And then it started becoming very specialized. And GPUs came into the picture, so graphical processing units. And then you can mine even more efficiently. And then ASICs were created. ASIC stands for Application-Specific Integrated Circuit. So the only thing that ASIC chip does is do one thing, but it does it very fast and very efficiently. So that's where Bitcoin mining has now evolved, and that's where I believe most of all the coins are going to evolve that use a proof of work scheme. As you guys know, the media loves to bash Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, they first called us criminals and hackers, and then drug abusers, drug dealers, and now their new their new flavor of the month is to pick on the miners. Oh, it's a waste of energy. It's creating surplus greenhouse energy. They're bad. You know, it's great clickbait articles. But this presentation is I'm gonna try to explain to you how the mining network and the miners have already evolved ahead of what you read on the mainstream media. I have a very good view of what's going on in the mining because I work for the biggest Bitcoin miner pool and the manufacturer. So I see what's going on in terms of mining, and I can definitely tell you that mining is not necessarily a waste, and it's actually evolved into something more clean. But before I talk about that, I also want to point out something that these articles don't point out, is that how much energy it takes to run a payment network, these banks, even the cars to bring money from point A to point B, data centers that run the whole entire Visa, banking, all that stuff takes up a lot of energy. So like when you see these articles, you always have to, they give us the bad rep, because you can actually see that there's these big mining things, but you don't really see like all these servers and all these big high-rise buildings that take up also a lot of energy. But back to the enough bashing the other guys. Let's back to the waste. What we've seen is that there's a surplus of energy in many parts of the world. Miners have one goal: is to create wealth for themselves, to make money. And what is the number one variable for a miner? It's electricity. Electricity is the most important cost when mining. The lower your electricity cost, the more money you're going to be making. Aside from fixed costs like just the mining and the site of the miner, those are fixed costs that you eventually recoup after a couple months. These variable costs continue to be there. And what we've seen over the years is that since miners are looking for cheap electricity, they have moved. The market has already responded to that need and has moved into areas of the world where mining is much cheaper. I'm talking about geothermal areas like Iceland, Norway, even Siberia. That's nuclear, but there's a debate if that's good or not. And also hydroelectric. China is, for example, one of the biggest. They created a lot of hydroelectric power plants in the last 15 years to build these new cities that sometimes never came. So there's these huge hydroelectric power plants in the middle of nowhere in China that are just being wasted. The electricity is being shot into the ground. So there's a waste of money for these companies or these companies. So what they do is they set some miners up in there, and they're actually recouping their costs. They're using otherwise wasted energy that would have been shot into the ground or not used to power this decentralized network and create funds, create jobs for the small towns around these areas. Another thing that we've been seeing is that since it's lucrative to mine, people are starting to, it's actually creating a demand for clean energy startups or clean energy companies. So we're seeing actually clean energy companies who are coming into or creating there's new companies for miners. So we're seeing a very interesting development. I mean, you got solar panels in some parts of Africa, and then there's miners connected there because it's what otherwise would cost them 4 years to recoup their costs are now costing them 1 year. You set up a small mining farm next to it, and instead of paying in 4 years, it's 1 year. So it's beneficial for everyone, and it runs this decentralized network, not controlled by any party. Now, what is this? What is this hash? What is this electricity? How do I put this? What exactly is this proof of? This electricity creates a proof of work to run this network, right? The proof of work is I think the most innovative section of Bitcoin. It's not created by Satoshi Nakamoto, but the way it's been set into the system is the most innovative thing about it. What it is basically it requires data. It requires electricity to be entered into the block. Okay? It verifies. It's actually showing that there's electricity usage to create this block. Without that, I don't think the value of Bitcoin would be the same. It is an actual, I believe it creates value in these blocks. Another important thing is the security layer. In order for you to tamper with the blockchain, you have to create the same amount of electricity or proof of work to then change the transactions. So as I said earlier, every 10 minutes there's a block being created, and in that block, aside from the transactions, there's a proof of work. There's a proof of data that shows the electricity used. If you want to change, if an attacker wants to change the transactions that happened 30 minutes ago, they have to then provide the same amount of electricity and hashing power to then, in 30 minutes, to then change that transaction. It's basically impossible. I mean, you could do an attack maybe for 10, 20 minutes, but after that, you're gonna lose all your funds. So that's where blockchain. Everyone talks about all these blockchain technology conferences. Talk about it's immutable, it's tamper-proof. Well, the only reason it's immutable and tamper-proof is because of proof of work. It's because of the electricity usage in these mining that's then transferred into this system. Yeah, so there was my slide, security. It also, so to kind of end my talk, I believe the importance of this electricity usage to provide security for this system called Bitcoin is an extremely important thing, because there's never been in the history of humanity a system where you can transact with each other in a fairer way, in a freer system. You can transact across the world. But Bitcoin itself, I believe, is the important reason why we need to be providing this proof of work and this electricity. So when you read something on the internet talking about how it's bad for electricity, I want you to, just take a second back, take a look back, and aside from the reasons of the clean energy I said earlier, it's also powering this new human endeavor of a cryptocurrency, a tamper-proof digital ledger used by everyone without the control of anyone. So, thank you.